Lewis Hamilton dropped huge bombshell on Mercedes after serious statement. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Lewis Hamilton declares he's had enough of Mercedes' struggle as F1 woes continue. Lewis Hamilton has admitted he has had enough of his lack of Grand Prix success and is determined to change his fortunes during his final season at Mercedes. Hamilton, 39, announced the surprise decision back in February to leave Mercedes at the end of the season and move to Ferrari for 2025. Despite signing a new multi-year deal just 8 months ago, the Brit has chosen to move on in one of the hardest decisions in his career. However, it has been a difficult start to his last campaign at Mercedes. Hamilton has not finished inside the top 5 in any of the opening 6 races, with a 6th place finish at the Miami Grand Prix, his highest placing. That has left him down in 9th on just 27 points in the drivers' standings. His form has not been impressive for some time, though. In fact, Hamilton last won a Grand Prix during the penultimate race of the 2021 season and has not finished on the podium since his 2nd-place finish in Mexico in October. Despite this, Hamilton is eager to turn his form around. "I think everyone in the team, they want it to be a great year," he told CBS. "Everyone's worked so hard back at the factory, no less than ever before. For me, this whole journey has been massively emotional just because I have so much love for this team. I'm not leaving because I'm unhappy there. I'm not leaving because of relationship issues. Mercedes supported me since I was 13, so I love the brand. I love the people. They've been with me through thick and thin. So it's definitely a strange transition at the moment." Hamilton had won a Grand Prix in every single season since his debut year in 2007 up until the 2022 campaign, and he could be on course for 3 successive campaigns without a victory. "It's been tough," he admitted. "Of course we exist to win, and when you're not winning, your perspective has to shift. And it's just been about chasing, and it's about improvement. It's about coming together. How can we make improvements? How can we get back to where we want to be and rallying and everyone out? I actually really enjoyed that experience. But 3 years in now, we're like, okay, I've had enough of this. Let's get back to where we belong." Lewis Hamilton has conceded that his impending departure from Mercedes has created a strange transition within the team. Hamilton stunned F1 in February with the news that he was to exercise a break clause in his contract and leave Mercedes at the end of 2024 to sign for Ferrari. The Briton had some 82 of his 103 races and earned 6 of his 7 titles with the team since joining in 2013, but decided to follow what he called a childhood dream and sign for the Italian outfit. As the Hamilton-Mercedes partnership winds down over the course of the 2024 season, Hamilton will be phased out of team meetings, not be able to access full information about upgrades and development, so he cannot take it with him to Maranello. He signed with Mercedes when he was a teenager and will join Ferrari as a 40-year-old, but insisted he is not leaving because he's unhappy. "For me, this whole journey has been massively emotional, just because I have so much love for this team," Hamilton told CBS's Gayle King. "I'm not leaving because I'm unhappy there. I'm not leaving because of relationship issues. They've been with me through thick and thin. It's definitely a strange transition at the moment." Hamilton has not won since the 2021 Saudi Arabian GP, some 51 races ago, going winless in both the 2022 and 2023 seasons. In those 51 races, Max Verstappen has won 3 World Championships and 39 races, with Hamilton only scoring 6 podiums in a 2023 season dominated by Verstappen. Having dropped off competitively, Hamilton conceded that his perspective shifted, but is determined to still find Mercedes' improvements. "We exist to win, and when you're not winning, your perspective has to shift," he said. "It's just then about chasing, and it's about improvement. It's about coming together. How can we make improvements? How can we get back to where we want to be? And rallying everyone up. I actually really enjoy that experience." The second story is Toto Wolff addresses Max Verstappen meeting as Mercedes in observation mode. Toto Wolff has refused to rule out a possible meeting with Max Verstappen and his management over a possible move to Mercedes for the 2025 F1 season. Verstappen's F1 future continues to be a hot topic, even though he has a contract with Red Bull until 2028. The uncertainty around it stems from Christian Horner and the investigation into his alleged behavior. Verstappen might decide to leave Red Bull with Adrian Newey leaving the team next year. Also, sporting director Jonathan Wheelty is questioning his own future as he looks to fill a more senior role at a rival team. Speaking after Sunday's Miami Grand Prix, Wolff addressed speculation that he'd be meeting with the Verstappen camp ahead of Imola. His latest response appeared to contravene what he said ahead of the weekend, where he stated that no such meeting would take place. "There's always plenty of meetings. I can't really say about the second driver," Wolff said. "I think we've talked about the possibilities. I want to be fair to these guys and not make it look like we are playing chess with humans, because we are not doing that. I think we want to take our time, see where Max's thinking goes, and at the same time, monitor the other drivers. Carlos Sainz was very strong in Miami again, and that's why we are a little bit on an observation mode at the moment." Wolff once again reiterated that if he was in Verstappen's position, he would remain at Red Bull for 2025. "As I said before, if I was him, I wouldn't leave, at least for 2025. But it's all in his... He's leading the driver. He's the top guy at the moment, and that's why it's for him to take those decisions," Wolff added. "There may not be any decisions to take. Maybe everything continues like it is, but that is then also guidance for us." The German manufacturer has endured a challenging start to the 2024 campaign, with its W15 showing flashes of speed but struggling to deliver consistency through race weekends. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell have battled a knife-edge feeling at times, as Mercedes has failed to nail a setup that exploits the potential that it believes is locked in the car. While the team is hopeful that an aerodynamic upgrade package scheduled for the next race in Miami will bring an overall lift to its performance. The squad is also in tandem planning other changes to its car over the next few Grands Prix. The third story is Mercedes monitoring Carlos Sainz for 2025. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff says Carlos Sainz is a realistic option for 2025. Like most rounds of 2024, the Miami GP was a mixed bag for Mercedes. From a pure performance perspective, the W15's serious limitations cannot be denied. In this sense, Mercedes can only be disappointed when they see their customer team McLaren claim victory. Still, as ever, the F1 news headlines surrounding the Silver Arrows go beyond their on-track performance. With Lewis Hamilton finishing P6 and George Russell in P8, Mercedes at least secured a reasonable points haul. They consolidated fourth place in the championship, a position which, barring an unlikely turn of events, they could stay in for the rest of 2024. As ever, speculation continues regarding the team's driver selection for next season. Max Verstappen remains an attainable target for the Brackley-based team, at least in the eyes of Toto Wolff. Considering the current performance at Mercedes, the Dutchman is unlikely to jump ship before 2026 at the earliest. Mercedes mentioned Carlos Sainz as a potential candidate. Still, the Mercedes team principal believes every option is worth exploring. Speaking of which, he mentioned Carlos Sainz as a viable option for the team. "I think we've talked about the possibilities," Sky Sports quotes him as saying. "I want to be fair to these guys and not make it look like we are playing chess with humans, because we are not doing that. I think we want to take our time, see where Max's thinking goes, and at the same time, monitor the other drivers. Carlos was very strong in Miami again, and that's why we are a little bit in observation mode at the moment. Sainz and Verstappen obviously represent the more established targets for Mercedes. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Kimmy Antonelli is still being evaluated. The 17-year-old continues to rack up significant mileage in F1 machinery. Toto Wolff has been careful to try and minimize the hype surrounding Kimmy Antonelli. However, at this stage, the F1 news space is littered with articles about the Italian. Only last weekend, the FIA confirmed they received a request to receive a special dispensation for the Mercedes Junior. If accepted, he would be able to compete in F1 before turning 18 years old. However, both Mercedes and Williams, who are understood to have sent the request, have ruled out Antonelli earning a full-time seat before 2025. Instead, his first step will likely involve competing in free practice sessions. Whilst he continues to be evaluated, more established drivers like Carlos Sainz remain on the German outfit's radar. Mercedes have no short-term fixes to their F1 struggles in 2024, admits team principal Toto Wolff. Traditionally, customer teams fail to outperform their suppliers. Teams like Mercedes or Ferrari, with tremendous resources, enjoy an inherent advantage over the teams dependent on their power units.